Welcome to my content calendar series where I teach you how to create your own content calendar using multiple different tools. This is part 2 of my series, which means today's video we're diving into ClickUp. ClickUp is the tool that my team and I have been using since 2020, so I'll show you our setup later on in this video. If you're using the timestamps below, you'll see that this video is split into 2 parts. Part 1 will be going over different examples of what your content calendar can look like. This way you can see some different options before you start creating. And then for part 2, we'll go step by step and create a content calendar from scratch. That way you have a little bit of a tutorial for how to set up a content calendar in ClickUp. Now I will say, if you like the content calendar that I show you in this video, I made it. And it's now a free template that you can access directly in ClickUp for free. So I'll leave a link to it down below if creating a content calendar from scratch isn't your cup of tea. Now let's jump to the computer and get started. A quick overview of ClickUp so that you aren't too confused. When you create your free account, it'll look nice and clean like this. Look at all, there's nothing here. It's beautiful, it's blank. We love that for you. Fresh start. You won't have any spaces created on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, you'll see a place called Spaces. Now, spaces are whatever you want them to be. This is where you'll be creating your content calendar when we get to the create from scratch section. I just wanted you to know kind of terminology when I say space. I'm referring to these sections that are on the left-hand side. Now let's look at an example of a content calendar. So this is the actual content calendar for my YouTube videos. Surprise, surprise, you get a little sneak peek. This is my preferred view. This is the format that I really like to look at for when I'm planning content. Up top, you'll see these are all the different views that I have for this specific space. So this space is called the In the Works space, and it's basically all the videos that I'm currently working on. As you can see, my pinned view is this board view. Basically the board view, I like to have it set up so it tracks the progress or the status of a video. When I say the status of the video, I simply mean what column they're in. So the status of this video is it's being recorded. It's in recording. The status of this video is in the planning status. So that's the status. So if I were to ask Joel, he's one of my team members, he helps me with YouTube. Like, hey Joel, what's the status of the Make Money in Your Sleep YouTube video? He's gonna say, oh, that video is in scripting. So what's the status of it? The status is the column that it's in. Another reason I like the board view, not just because it shows the status and progression of each video, but also because it's really easy to move things through the progress. So when I'm ready to script this video or when I'm ready to record it, I just simply drag and drop. And that's how I keep track of all the videos. I just simply keep dragging and dropping them. Now for all the videos that do have a post date, you can have multiple views. You just link another view. This is the calendar view of my videos. So I can see, okay, in May, these are the videos we're posting. Next in June, these are the videos we're posting. We don't have June planned yet, but this is what I would see. And then the final view option is the list view. A lot of people on my team actually prefer the list view. My brain does not work with this view, but so many people on my team like it, and you could choose how it's sorted or organized. So right here where it says grouping, this is grouped by the status. So remember when we said, what's the status? Like what column is it in? This is grouped by the status. So we can see as we scroll, here's all the ideas, here's everything that's currently being planned, everything Joel's working on, videos I'm working on, etc. I know right now this organization method that I'm showing you is focusing solely on one individual platform. But there is a way to manage multiple platforms with ClickUp. So let me show you another example. Jumping over to a fresh workspace because I want us to have like a clean slate. We don't have to get distracted by like all this busyness of my ClickUp, my actual ClickUp spaces that I use within my team. So let's ignore that. Let's say we're starting from scratch and you just want to create a content calendar space. I'm going to show you some example views using example content. All right, here's a clean space using the board view. Now what's different with this space is, as you can see here, there are labels that show you the different platforms of each piece of content. So it is completely possible to manage all of your pieces of content in one space. And this is an example setup of how to do that. Let's say you have a bajillion ideas here. You have a bajillion of things that are going up on Instagram, so many things on YouTube. This can feel overwhelming. So what you would simply do is filter tasks, scroll down to platform, because that was a custom field that I created for this template. And let's say I only want to see YouTube videos. So then I just customize the filter, the search filter, and now I'm only viewing YouTube videos that are in the works. When we clear the filter, it's going to show me all of the pieces of content that I would be working on. Now let's show all these videos in the calendar view. So long as a video has an attached due date, it will show up on the calendar view. So let's move to May. As you can see, here's the videos that are showing up on the calendar. Now, if you're somebody who likes to see the status of each video, so if it's being filmed, if it's being scripted, or the status of each content, you'll have to memorize the colors of that status. So when we go over to the board, you'll see the colors here. In progress is orange, filming is red, editing is blue, scheduling is green. You'll have to memorize those colors. You can also customize the colors if you want to edit the status and change the color of it. So you can change the colors so that they stick in your brain a little bit better. But just so you know, when you're in the calendar view, that's what the colors are associated with. They're associated with the status. To view more details on the calendar view, you would just go to Customize, Fields, and then turn on the status that you want to be able to view. So if I want to see the platform, I'm just going to click Platform, and now it's going to show me this piece of content is being posted to Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. So that's how you could customize the calendar view a little bit more. Then we have the list view. The list view, again, it's not my favorite, but it is really fun to build out to your liking. So while it's sorted by status here, you can of course group it however you like. So this is sorted by status. You're able to add the columns here however you want, whatever you see fit. So if you want to create a column because you want to see quick access to a caption, you can create a column for that. Of course, again, this exact template that I'm showing you right now is the template that is free below. So if you're like, I don't want to build anything from scratch, I just want to use exactly what you're using, you can absolutely use this template, but it is customizable. So for example, if I wanted to add a column because I wanted to know the month that each piece of content is going live, this is what I would do. I'm going to call it month, and then we're just going to add all the months. Now we're going to add the column. And let's say all these pieces of content are going live in May. And then of course you can add June and so on. The reason this column could be helpful for you is so that you know what might be more of a priority to work on. So then I could edit the grouping status. We can now organize everything by month. And then we could see, okay, these are all the pieces of content that we need to work on for May. These are all the pieces of content for June. So getting familiar with the columns and customizing them to your liking is really cool, and something that I really like about the list view, because it shows you all of the information that you want to be seeing. Now I'm just going to show you a little bit how to use this template before we create something from scratch. So let's say we have a new video idea. I'm going to call this new idea. We're just going to add it right here. Perfect. Now let's open up this card or this new idea so that we could add some more information. You want to be as detailed as possible. So if you already know when you want it to go live, you can add the date that it will be live. Let's say this is a June 5th video. Under details is where you have all the custom fields that I've added to this template. So this is where you can add a caption. If this is an Instagram reel or a TikTok video, you could link the piece of content. If it is sponsored, you can attach the contract after it's signed. This one is going live in June. Let's say this one is platform-wise a YouTube video. And then task date. I wanted to explain this a little bit more because within a video or a new idea, there's obviously different tasks that need to happen sooner than the post date or the due date. So let's say this video is due June 5th. But my first task of scripting the video, I want to get that script done by May 15th. So I'm just gonna put May 15th of like, yes, the video is gonna go live on this date, but your first task related to this item, you wanna get that scripting done by May 15th, and then I'll show you why this is helpful. Something else that I set up within this template is an automation. Automations are really cool. They can be advanced, so I won't get too into that, but I will show you the automation that I had set up. So the automation that I have set up in this template is anytime you tag YouTube as the platform, it's going to automatically generate subtasks for you. So let's open this back up. I added the tag as platform. So now when we go to action items, you're going to see this whole checklist of what you can do leading up to your YouTube video. There are not automations set up for Instagram, TikTok, Shorts, X, because I feel like the checklist is a little bit shorter, a little bit quicker. It's just like, okay, create the content, write a caption, post. So because those are a little bit more simpler when it comes to the process, I didn't create that automation. You can absolutely set that up yourself though if you wanted to, but I did have that set up so anytime you tag YouTube as a platform, you'll automatically get a checklist generated for you. The final thing that I want to show you with this template is why I added the task date. So here under the list, okay, so due date or post date is here, and then task date for this new idea. We want scripting to be done by May 15th. Right now in the calendar view, you are seeing the live date of each piece of content, but if you wanted to see like upcoming tasks or the task date, you would just go to Customize, Calendar Options, Custom Field, turn on task date, and now you could see the task dates for upcoming items. This is just the way that I like to do it. I know you could also just create subtasks under a card, add a date to the subtask. So if I add a subtask and the subtask is script video, then you add a due date to the subtask. You could also do it that way. Now in calendar, you're seeing I have the template turned on so you could see subtask due dates or subtask dates. The only reason I prefer the task date approach instead of the subtask approach is because I like the separate column view. I want to see the column here instead of everything lined up this way. That's just my personal preference, but wanted to show you those two options. Now, before we walk through how to build a content calendar from scratch, I want to tell you all a little bit more about ClickUp, who is also this video's sponsor. For those of you who aren't familiar with ClickUp, it's an all-in-one productivity platform that can do so much more than help you manage your content. ClickUp works as an ideal place for teams to come together, brainstorm, plan, and collaborate on everything you're working on in your business. So as you know, my team and I use ClickUp. We use it for everything from helping us plan out our course launches, keeping track of team member info, organizing my affiliate links, building out a content calendar, taking notes in doc format, creating spreadsheets, and the list goes on. Basically, ClickUp is the all-in-one app to replace them all. If you're a solopreneur or content creator, you can absolutely sign up on their free plan and get so much done. And if you're somebody with a team, they also have team plan options available. As soon as I started growing a team back in 2020, we moved completely to ClickUp, and I have loved it ever since. So you can create a free account using the link below. That'll take you directly to the template that I showed you in today's video. Thank you so much, ClickUp, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to creating. Now let's create our content calendar from scratch. We're going to create a new space, give it a name. I'm going to add test because I have a duplicate one, and you can use templates that are already within ClickUp. So you can make sure this is all unchecked, so it'll search through all the templates. Like I said before, my template that I created is available directly on ClickUp, so you can search for it and find it, or you could just look up content calendar and browse through all of the different template options. The template that I created is called Creator Content Calendar. It's specifically created for content creators as opposed to social media managers. So Creator Content Calendar, if you click open, the template description will look somewhat like this, and on the right hand side it'll say created by Millie Adrian. So you can use that template, or you could just continue to browse through, click through templates, see which one has a setup that you really like, use that. But we're gonna start and create it from complete scratch. To do that from here, instead of clicking Use Templates, I'm going to press Continue. It's going to ask you how you want to define your workflow. If you click through these different options, you will see the default views that it will create for you and the default statuses it will automatically import for you, and ClickUp apps that it'll integrate. But we won't have to worry about the ClickUp apps because we're not really using any of the ClickUp apps. You can absolutely use Starter because I feel like that's just the simplest one to start with. All right, here is our new space. When you are clicked on Content Calendar, like your space here, all of these views will summarize all of the spaces under here. So something that you could do, we could have, it automatically created this list for us here. We could have this be called YouTube, right? And then we could create a new list called Instagram and separate our platforms out this way. TikTok, or if you're like a social media manager, you could like do the different brand names. So it's like, I'm making content for Nikon, and why do I keep thinking of Stevia? I said that in another video. Stevia, Bath and Body Works, you know, so you could do it that way. So here within each individual space, YouTube, I am just looking at the YouTube content. Instagram, I would just be looking at the Instagram content. But then when I click here to Content Calendar Test, it's actually going to show me all of the tasks in one place. So if I have all of my YouTube projects, all the Instagram content, all the TikTok content, it'll show you all of that in one place with all these views. So let's do that. Why not? Why not? YouTube, again, I like the board view. That's just me. So this is the view that we're gonna build our space off of. Let's add some statuses. So let's say filming. When you go to add a status, it's going to ask if you want to change a status for just this list, YouTube, or for the entire space. That means if you go to the entire space view, the content calendar test, where you click on that folder in a sense, you'll be able to sort all of the content under it, the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, by these statuses too. So I actually want to do the entire space. So I'm going to do that, filming. We're going to do editing, scheduling. Of course, I could customize the color here. I'm gonna keep them pink. Entire space safe. And then to add a video idea, we're gonna put that video idea here. Now you can track everything in this board view. Now let's go back to the list view because I think some of you would want these columns customized. Because as solopreneurs, we probably don't have a team, so assignee is a view that we probably don't need. So I'm just gonna right click that, press hide column. Priority, might not need the priority view either, so I'm just gonna right click, hide column. We're going to add columns now, and it could be whatever you want. So for the YouTube videos, let's say I want a column that's specifying the sponsor of that video. Let's do sponsor. Now we have the sponsor. You could say sponsored by ClickUp. And now when I'm looking at this video idea, I know it's sponsored by ClickUp. You could also do a new column, the month that it's being posted again. So I'm just gonna say May and June because those are the ones that are coming up. Month, this was a May video. And then you just keep adding columns based off of what you visually want to see in this view. This video will go live this day. Really great, handy dandy. Now, as you can see, because we did the most simplest template option, or we just started from absolute scratch, we don't have the calendar view yet. So we went to add view. We're gonna choose calendar. And now, boom shakalaka, easy peasy, we have our calendar view. Something that will probably be helpful to have is that platform label. So I'm gonna create a label. We're gonna call it platform. Now, this isn't helpful necessarily for the view of the list, but when we go back to this view and we wanna see like all of it in one place, I think it'd just be nice to visually see the platform types. So I'm gonna say YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're just gonna keep it. Add column. And of course, let's add the colors. YouTube is obviously red. Instagram, we're gonna make it purple. And then TikTok, we're gonna make it pink. Cool. This one is YouTube. Okay, now that we have the basics set up, right? This is kind of just the flow that we want for each of our spaces. I'm going to duplicate this space and I'm going to call it Instagram. We're gonna copy everything. Then we'll do it again. Now that we're in the Instagram space, we're gonna do this, duplicate, TikTok, copy. Now I'm gonna go back to the Instagram one, remove, let's swap this out with an Instagram piece of platform, TikTok. And let's just like build it out so you could see this other view. So let's say this TikTok video is gonna go live the 17th. This Instagram video is gonna go live the 13th. Now that we have all of our spaces here, when you go to the content calendar overview, you will be able to see which space each card is at. So YouTube space, Instagram space, TikTok space. To see which piece of content it belongs to, you go to Customize, Fields, Location. Now you can see this is an Instagram video, YouTube video, TikTok video. Remember, the color is associated with the status of the video. So all of these are currently in like the to-do status. That's why they are all gray. If you preferred seeing the color label, when you're on the overview for like all of them, you can add a status or a label here. So we're gonna add a label, platform, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. This is gonna be red, perps, pinks, add column. Now the platform was added to all of them, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Now in calendar view, when we customize it, fields, custom field, turn on platform. So that's how you can like visually see the different colored platforms if you preferred this view. So those are basically two different options that you can use when you're approaching creating your content calendar. You could create all platforms in one space, or you can make multiple spaces for each individual platform and build out your content calendar from there. If you've made it this far, be sure to include the secret emoji in your comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.